Hey, it's Balasabas. A lot of you will know me as the social media and community manager at Thinkific. And today, January 17th, 2020, it's my last day with the team. This video is gonna be a little different than my usual tutorial videos that you'll find on my channel. I've got some sad but exciting news to share with you. So first, let's just get the sad news out of the way, okay? I've resigned from Thinkific. I love Thinkific. I joined Thinkific almost 4 years ago, seems like a lifetime ago, as a customer support champion. I was team member number 17. I actually have to give credit to my good buddy Sid Barath, who was the VP of Growth at Thinkific at the time, for getting me the job at Thinkific. He introduced me to Miranda, Lievers, who is one of the co-founders and the COO at Thinkific. After a really awesome introductory phone call and a really awesome meeting at the bunker, which is what the previous Thinkific office was called. It's a long story. It's called the bunker. It was a warehouse turned into an office space. Very cool, very techy. Anyways, we had a really awesome meeting at the bunker. After that, I was sold and I joined the team. Now, that version of the Thinkific team is not the version that you see today. It was 16 other people in a shared office space. We shared it with, I think, 3 or 4 other startups. I think one of the startups was selling mattresses. The other one was selling onesies for grown-ups. There was a corporate event planning company there. There was also another guy that was building some really cool tech and hardware for avalanche safety. It was like just a mishmash. If you actually have been to the old office, I would love to hear a memory, or if you've seen the shipping container. Looking back, it was just an incredible experience being there when Thinkific was in its early days, and it's something that I'll never forget. So at this time, I'm working as a customer champion, so I'm answering tickets, I'm hopping on phone calls to troubleshoot different things. I would go and do onboarding calls, and so I was working with this guy named Patrick Kelly, who is so brilliant, and me and him would actually challenge each other on how many tickets we could do each day. And we were just essentially messaging each other or emailing each other how many tickets we were doing. Anyways, that's not how things work now. It's evolved a lot. So at this time, I'm just heads down doing my thing, answering support tickets. A lot of you may not actually know this, but before I joined Thinkific, I was working at a digital marketing agency for probably 5 to 6 years. So that being said, the first thing that popped out at me is that Thinkific's Instagram was not really being leveraged as much as it should, and totally understandable. We had a very small team. We didn't have much bandwidth to really handle all the different social channels. So there were a few posts here and there, but not to the extent that we are using Instagram now. So I tapped Sid on the shoulder and said, "Hey Sid, if no one minds, would you guys be cool if I took over our Instagram account and started posting some more things about our culture, some of the things that we're doing here, our monthly town halls, and just really show off the culture that is being built here at Thinkific?" I said, "Don't worry, it won't affect any of my support work or any of my productivity on that side of things. I'll do it on my own free time." And they said, "Absolutely." All right, so at this point, I'm doing my support thing. I'm also doing my Instagram thing, reaching out to partners, collaborating with influencers, and growing the Instagram channel. The team then asked me to take over our Facebook page, and then eventually our Twitter account, and then our LinkedIn page. During this time, I was also very active inside of our Facebook group, which is where our online community was hanging out. And eventually, I was given the keys to the Thinkific community inside of that private Facebook group, and I officially moved from support into the marketing team. And at this point, I'm gonna be just super transparently honest with you guys that I was very intimidated by this room of sheer marketing talent that Thinkific had. There was probably about 10 or 12 marketers at Thinkific at the time. There was somebody that was taking care of paid ads. There was a copywriter that was brilliant, graphic designers, funnel experts. I mean, everything that you can think of, these marketers knew what they were doing. Any of them could lead an entire marketing team on their own, and they were here in this room, and I was joining that team. But in true Thinkific fashion, I was welcomed with open arms, and I was actually given a lot of freedom to run tests and different strategies to grow the social channels. This is when I really realized that I loved community and building community and engaging with community. I spent a big part of my day inside of that private Facebook group, answering questions, sharing resources, starting conversations, and getting people to start sharing ideas and asking questions. We eventually started doing live video sessions inside of the Facebook group, which then evolved into YouTube Lives, also LinkedIn Lives, Twitter, Periscope Lives, where we got a bunch more opportunities to then engage with our community in real time, and that helped all of us inside of Thinkific. Thinkific has attended a ton of conferences and events all over the place, and I've been blessed to be able to be invited to go and join on those trips, represent Thinkific, go down with a lot of our different team members, and meet a lot of our course creators, customers, partners, and just friends in the industry. Here are some of the badges actually that I got from a lot of the conferences. There's Social Media Marketing World, there's CTA Conference by Unbounce, there's Vid Summit, of course, which I love. Another one from Vid Summit from the other year, Traction Force by Traction on Demand, Hootsuite events, Marketed Live by my friend Paul in the UK. I didn't actually attend this one, but he sent me my badge anyway because last minute had to cancel, but there it is. Yeah, VidCon, Video Marketing World. There's so many more. I was actually just cleaning up my desk and found all of these. But yeah, I've been really blessed to be able to go and attend these trips. And this is part of my work that I really, really love. Above almost all of it is that I get to meet a lot of really cool people and hear their stories. At this point, I started doing a lot of the webinars for Thinkific, also a lot of the podcast interviews and live stream interviews as a guest to represent Thinkific. There's a few of us actually that did that. It's actually been a real honor to do that, to represent Thinkific, whether the audience is for 5 people or for hundreds of people, to represent Thinkific and all the people behind the scenes. It's been a real joy to do that every single time. There are so many brilliant people behind every button, every picture, every word, every video at Thinkific that make it happen every single day. Sometimes I'll actually join a conversation with some of the developers and product managers, and literally I will need to step away because I don't understand anything they're talking about. They're just so smart. So before I tell you where I'm gonna be going next with my career, I just want to express some heartfelt thank yous to a few people. First, Greg Smith and Miranda Lievers, you two are leaders of leaders. It has been inspiring to watch you operate day in and day out. I just want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to be part of this amazing ride that you guys have built and created, and I'm honored to have been a part of it, to leave my mark where I could. I'm really excited to see where Thinkific goes, and I will always be thankful for the opportunity that you've given me to be here. I also want to thank all of my people leaders over the years, Mike Clay, Andrea Merson, Veronica House, and also Aaron Morin. I've had the best people leaders over the years, no joke. They've commended my work, they've given me guidance, but they've also given me freedom to think outside the box. I remember Mike Clay, he was one of my first people leader when I was still in support, and he told me, hey, you know what, I think you're not gonna be in support very long. And he suggested that I read this book called So Good They Can't Ignore You by Cal Newport. The following day I picked it up and read it, and really the message is that whatever you're doing, whatever job, whatever task, whatever role you have at the moment, do it to the best of your ability. If you're a support rep, if you're a tech person, if you're a developer, if you're a truck driver, stay-at-home mom, whatever you are, do that thing to the best of your ability and people will not be able to ignore you. It really opened up my eyes to the opportunities that are out there if you are willing to work for it. It's actually funny because since then, Mike has made his own journey and he's no longer with the support team. He's actually one of the lead product managers at Thinkific. And so I thank him for just handing me that book that one time, that one meeting that we had back at the bunker. So Mike, thank you. All my people leaders, thank you so much. And to the rest of my team members at Thinkific, thank you so much. I always tell people that I get to work with some of the brightest, most humble people on the face of the planet. I honestly do not know where Tia and Amanda on our recruiting team find amazing people day in, day out, all the time, but they manage to. It's been really cool to watch people from all walks of life come around a common goal, around a common mission, and contribute their unique gifts, talents, and skills to keep things moving forward. Honestly, if you have been able to experience Thinkific in some form or fashion, if you've been able to visit the team at the HQ here in Vancouver, you'll know what I'm talking about. And now our partners, it's been so fun working with all of you, coming up with creative ways to find win-wins for everyone involved whenever we run a campaign. I consider a lot of you not just partners, but actual friends. I hope to continue to work with you in my new role. And lastly, to all the course creators out there, all the course creators that are part of the Thinkific community. You all inspire me every single day with your stories. I see success stories day in and day out, and I get to speak to a lot of you and hear your stories firsthand. So thank you for sharing all of those stories with me. They have inspired me to do better work every day. Without you, there really would literally be no Thinkific. Your love for your students and for sharing your knowledge with other people out there and give people the gift of knowledge is something that I hope you continue to do for a very long time. I'll definitely be watching. Thank you to all of you who have been part of my adventure during my time here at Thinkific. I will always continue to be Thinkific's biggest fan and advocate in the marketplace. I won't just point to them if somebody asks me which online course platform they should choose. That's a given. But also when I'm asked how should a company be run, what values should it uphold, and what standards should they hold themselves against. So where am I going next? I think it's very clear that Thinkific has set a very, very high bar for a place to work at. So in my mind, there's only a few companies that I would consider working for if it wasn't Thinkific. So I'm excited to share that I have accepted a position to work with tubebuddy as their new brand evangelist. I've actually become really good friends with the tubebuddy team over the years. Even though tubebuddy is based in San Diego and we're based in Vancouver, I actually get to see tubebuddy at a lot of the conferences and events that I attend. In fact, last year I stayed at one of the tubebuddy houses at VidCon in LA, just because, again, they were good friends of ours. Most recently, I had the privilege of project managing the tubebuddy and Thinkific Make YouTube Your Business online summit. I've also been a fan and a user of tubebuddy for years, not just for my personal channel, but also for the Thinkific channel. I've learned so much about creating videos and growing a YouTube channel by watching a lot of Andrew Can's videos. tubebuddy has an incredible amount of support and love from their community, as well as experts and influencers in the YouTube space. Once my move was finalized and confirmed, I actually shared the news with a handful of my really close partners and friends in the industry, and they had nothing but good things to say about Phil and Katie and Andrew and the entire tubebuddy team. By chance, and because the timing was actually perfect, we actually met up with Anna, who is one of the developers at tubebuddy, and her husband in Vancouver last weekend because they had already planned this trip to Vancouver, and so we connected, we hung out, and it was so nice. She actually gave us some gifts from San Diego, and naturally I asked her, hey, what is it like being part of the tubebuddy team? And her answer was, and I quote, this is her words, "Sometimes I feel like I'm cheating life because it's such an awesome place to work." I'm so excited for this next chapter, and I really, really hope that you will join me. See you in the next video.